Welcome back to the Jeff and Hammy Show. I'm Hammy.
I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to talk about goal setting. A lot of new salespeople are out there looking for even the older salespeople are looking for the magic pill that doesn't exist. There is no magic pill to getting to the top. Like, there are some people that I know that are selling more than 100 cars a month. I know 3 different guys that are doing this, and they didn't do it overnight, and they didn't have a magic pill. It took steps to get to that level, and it took them years to create that business. And I have this quote from J.C. Penney, the founder of the department store back in 1800. Says, "Give me a stock clerk with a goal, and I'll give you a man that can make history. Give me a man without a goal, and I'll show you a stock clerk."
Wow, it's really true.
Yeah, so...
Well, you miss 100% of the shots you never take. Is
Yes,
that right?
yes.
I've heard a good basketball player say that.
Yeah, this is about like setting realistic goals in increments to create the goal of getting to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And I have been, like, literally and figuratively on the top of the mountain, Jeff. I climbed Mount Whitney back in the 90s, in the late 90s, and there was a process of getting to the top of a 14,500 foot peak. All right, that mountain is probably higher than anybody that's going to watch this video has ever been set, where their feet were still on the ground at the elevation I was on top of.
Wow.
All right, but I had to do the steps, the processes. I had to have the gear, I had to have the fitness, and I had to know the conditions of the mountain when I left for there. And let's just even step this up. I'm no mountaineer. That was just more of a day hike with some skill set that I needed to get to the top. But people that climb Mount Everest, so you dropped them off on a helicopter on top of the mountain, they would die instantly because there would be lack of oxygen.
Totally.
They have to acclimate to the level of getting to the top of the mountain. First of all, they need to be with experienced guides and training people that will get them up there, for one thing, and get them up there safely and back down safely. So you need to have people that can help you along the way, but they have to acclimate. They had to get to points, so they had to go to the base camp, and then you have to go to the first camp above base camp, and then you got to go to like 4 or 5 different things, and they have to stay there for a certain amount of time, so they don't
climbing up
and get acclimated to that. And that's the same thing. And so I have like 3 things with A, B's, and C's, and D's, and E's and stuff. But Jeff, I'm going to call this chart your start. This is like waking up in the morning, start your day with intention.
So let me ask you this, Mike. We were talking before this. So guys that get into the business, or maybe are making a decent living, for them just to go and make $400,000 in 1 year, you're saying, hey, you got to set reasonable goals before you can get to that level.
Yeah, I mean, like, there may be the one success story out of like 100,000 that does that.
But you gotta.
But the realistic, like, all us and other 999,999 people can't do that. What that one person was able to achieve.
Sure.
So let's get realistic expectations and goals and goal setting. So I wrote this down, and I know Jeff's really good at this. So Jeff is like, first thing in the morning for me is, and I know this is good for you too, meditation and stress management first thing in the morning, waking up early.
Yeah, I think you've got to get quiet. For me, prayer works. For me, to get quiet, instrumental music, just being thankful for my day, thankful for the day that I had before, thankful for an up and coming day, and you gotta get quiet. You gotta let your mind and your heart rest before you hit the day. You've heard of Ken Blanchard, the 1 minute manager. He talked about slowly ramping up your day, and if you come in just already on edge, stressed out, that's no way to really succeed in your day. You gotta ramp up slowly.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it. You have to have daily goals. You gotta have daily goals.
Yes, for sure. And me, it's just getting that cup of coffee in the morning and reading a book. Usually it's a goal setting book or a self-help book, or doing actually some videos on YouTube that are all motivational type videos. But that's how I get my day going. Number 2, and I've kind of got off on track, but I'm getting started back on this again, is exercise. Like, if you're more fit, you have more energy, correct?
Totally right, man. Drinking tons of water. We've kind of talked about this in another video that we did, but yeah, you want to have everything going for you. You want to be fit. You're going to be on your feet all day long, so eating eating garbage and crap into your body, you'll normally get that as an output. So you got to be in the health zone when you're selling. You know? I mean, if you're smoking, gosh, probably a good habit to quit.
Dip in any tobacco products, like eating terribly. All these things have.
And we're saying that because you want the maximum performance.
Yes.
If you're going to work this hard, you want to make a six-figure income. So we're just giving you things, not to shame anyone that's stuck in that, but hey, we're just having you to be at your peak and to be at your best and to be around for a long time.
And this is one that I always feel is something very important. And your dressing standards, your grooming standards, looking good, feeling good, makes you work good.
Dress for success.
Yeah. That's like self-explanatory. We don't know going in depth on that. And then eating good, high-energy, quality food. That's an important thing. Having feel in your body.
Yeah.
We don't really need to go into that in detail. But if you're eating garbage and junk food and fast food, you're not going to have the energy and the to perform throughout an entire day.
Yep.
The last one here is have an optimistic and grateful and helpful attitude before you're getting to work, and that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, then when we get really into the goals now, we're going to have what's called clarity and focus. And I'm just going to go through this real quick, and then Jeff could just talk about that.
Sure.
So, like personally, me, hourly goals, daily goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, and 5-year goals. So right now, this YouTube channel is small, but I'm not looking at the 1 year mark or the 6 month mark. I was looking at 5 years down the road what I'll build this channel into. And so like you got to have these goals, and I guess like when I was back in my 20s and I climbed to the top of Mount Whitney, so I had to go to the ranger station and get my permit to climb up the mountain. And then I needed to know the weather report, even though it was the middle of summer. It's on the top of a 14,500 foot tall peak. It's like 40 degrees up there, even though it might be 100 degrees down in the valleys. It overlooks Death Valley, so it's probably 120 degrees down in Death Valley. But up on top of that very mountain, it's much colder, and the wind's blowing hard. Having the right gear. There were snow patches where I need to have crampons, and I needed an ice axe. I need to know how to use that ice axe. I watched people that were inexperienced, that didn't have didn't have their goals and have their things in processes down. And
do you still bring your ice axe to work?
Yeah, I do every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So anyways, Jeff would go ahead and talk about goal setting and like from the hourly goals all the way up to the annual and longer goals than that.
Yeah, I just think that if you're new in the car business, you've been around the car business, you want to set goals that are maybe they might be just out of reach, but they're really not out of touch. And what I mean by that is that you want to set your goals to a certain level that you have to really, really strive for them, but not so far out. And so when Mike and I talk about making a six-figure income, I think that you've got to set daily goals. I always set a daily goal. I set a monthly goal, and a little bit higher than I think that I've done the month before, or pushing myself a little bit higher than I think I can really attain. And so that's what goal setting is. You don't want to be so far out there where it's really not even realistic, but you don't want to be too short yourself where it's like, okay, if you're going to be selling cars, I think, making $3,000 or $4,000 a month, there's a lot of jobs you can do that don't have as much energy, effort, risk, all of that. You need to be setting yourself, to make six figures. And to do that, you have to set daily goals. You have to set bi-weekly goals and monthly goals. And so, you really want to grab somebody that's in your dealership that's thriving, and I'd ask them. I can tell you now, all those guys have goals.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one thing I would look at. It's like trying to make $250,000 a year or more, and you just started in this business, how are you going to get there if you haven't made $60,000 a year, or $80,000 or $100,000 a year?
True.
The first thing is probably in most dealerships is to be $100,000 a year or $10,000 a month is like one car every day to be selling a car every single day.
Yep.
So if you set that goal to I'm going to sell a car every day no matter what.
Break that down.
And not that I sold 3 cars one day and no cars the next day. I mean a car every single day. So there's not a day you come to work to not sell a car. So
right.
even if Jeff and I get a hat trick, which happens happens kind of on a regular basis here. He's not looking to not sell a car the next day or the next 2 days. Like, oh, I got my 3 days up in advance. No, he's looking to sell more cars every single day. Same with me. So I need to sell a car every day. That's a small goal. Then I need to sell this amount per week, and I need to make this much money per copy, and then I need to make this much money per month. So until you can make $10,000 a month on a regular basis, don't be talking about $300,000 a year or $400,000 a year. You haven't got there.
Take steps to do that.
Yeah, it's baby steps until where you start to run at the end.
Yeah, I mean, some of these guys that are making huge money, it's taken them 10 years to get there. But I really believe in a short period of time, you can get to a six-figure income.
Yes, I think any good store, that's a realistic thing, fairly quickly if you have the talent and you're willing to learn. A lot of it has to do with being coachable and learning and doing your stuff to get better. Last here is this is the is going into getting to that level is what I call the pursuit of success. Doing reading self-help books, motivational videos, constantly be learning, training with more successful people than you are. So that's what I did, getting part of that Pinnacle Society, is training with better people than I am, better people that are selling and doing those things. And then the last one is applying proven techniques, stuff that has legitimately worked, that's duplicatable. So applying those proven techniques into becoming that successful person.
Yeah, it's kind of unique in the dealership. We've talked about this many times, but the guys that all hang around together normally always make about the same amount of money together. And if you're hanging around with the dogs on the porch, that's what you're going to get. If you're hanging out with the Eagles, that's what you're going to get. And so be careful who you're hanging out with, and the guys that you want to be, hang out with them, buy them lunch. Do some work to find out how that they plan their day. What kind of goals are they setting for themselves? And I always tell people all the time, take a 3x5 card every single day and look at that goal on what your daily goal is and what your bi-weekly goal is, what your monthly goal is. Put it on a note on the back of a business card and stare at that thing and say, am I doing what it takes to hit these goals every day?
Yeah, so like this, in wrapping this up, again, setting yourself up for success, writing your goals down. If you're not writing your goals down, you're not setting yourself up for success, because you don't know what you want to do, and if you don't have it written down, you're not going to achieve those goals. You might get lucky, but it's unlikely.
I've heard someone say the harder I work, the luckier I get.
That is true. Again, I want to thank you for watching the Jeff and Hammy Show. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.